Hey guys, it's FifaRalle here and welcome to a streaming highlights video, and we'll have a bit of a Q&A going, but first off I'll just show off the teams. We first played with a 4-3-3 squad around the upgraded El Shaarawy and Yaya Toure, and that was a quite fun team to give a try. Then we had a team in a 3-5-2 formation around a bunch of skillers, just an all-out skill squad, very fun to use and actually quite solid in my opinion. And finally we did a play with a full 5-star weak foot team apart from the center backs and the goalkeeper, because they do not really have 5-star weak foot on the game. There's one center back, but he's really low rated, so we just went with all the other positions and it got full chemistry and was quite fun to play with because you could pretty much shoot from anywhere. So an enjoyable team to use for sure. But let's jump into the first question of the Q&A, which is from Irvin Busas, and he asks, who do you think will win La Liga? And it's a bit of a tough one. You do have Atletico Madrid kind of in the driving seat at this point in time with 1 point more than Barcelona, and then 3 points behind them is Real Madrid. And I hope that it is Atletico Madrid who wins it, because I'm a bit of a neutral viewer of La Liga, and in some way it's been Barca and Real Madrid picking up the title the past many years, and it would be nice to see Atletico Madrid pick it up and win it. So I guess I cheer for them in some way this year if I were to pick one team, but I do think maybe Barca will win it. They are going to face Atletico Madrid on the final round of La Liga, and I think they might be able to pick it up there, but still, it could go anywhere in football, and I hope it is Atletico Madrid to go all the way. And still, I would not count Real Madrid out, because I believe both Atletico Madrid and Barcelona got Athletic Bilbao to play, and that is a really strong team as well. And one of those teams might drop points to Athletic Bilbao, in my opinion. And then, of course, them playing against each other on the final day, Atletico Madrid and Barcelona. If they draw, Real Madrid is also, they're just right back into it, so anything can happen, and the outcome of that league is just impossible to predict in some way. But yeah, next question, let's move on to that. It's from FIFA Bijan, and he asks, what is your best advice on how to get coins? And it's a bit of a tough one. Well, it's a bit of one which I haven't really done it the way myself this year, and that is trading. That is probably the best way if you do not want to use any money on the game, but it's just very disencouraging this year in some way, I feel, because the market is so broken. You can use forever to search for players, and it's just not as enjoyable as it's been past years when you wanted to trade on the game. And at the same time, like the last few years, I like to trade a lot, try and get some of the high-end players in the start of the game, but this year the high-end players, their prices are just stupid. They're way over the top, I feel like. It's another thing that kind of have disencouraged me to do trading, and at the same time not really having the time has been a factor. But it's just when you have a player like Ibra, last year he was around 500,000, you could trade to that in some way and get him. This year he's just way more than that, and it's just such a long way to get up to him. So nonetheless, I would say trading is probably still the best way to get coins, but if you're not encouraged to do that, I would say maybe just play the divisions. You get quite a lot of coins from just winning those. So that is, I guess that is my answer to that. Next question is from Amir Hasina, and he asks, who is your favorite ever player you watched? And that has to go down as Ronaldinho. That one moment I got imprinted in my head is when he played against Real Madrid, and he got a standing ovation from the Real Madrid supporters for his amazing performance when they played on the Bernabeu. That was definitely an amazing moment in football, and I remember watching that, and I think that is probably the favorite thing I ever watched in football. And also, he is the favorite player I ever watched, Ronaldinho. Now, the next question is from Suna, and he asks, which handheld console have you had and which were the best? PSP, PS Vita, Game Boy, etc. he asks. And I haven't had a PSP or PS Vita, but I did have a Game Boy Color and I believe a Game Boy Advance, it was called, back when I was, I guess, 7-10 years old or something like that. And I played a lot of the Pokemon games back then, and they were definitely a lot of fun to play. That's probably my favorite Game Boy games ever. That is the Pokemon games. Alright, next question is from Oliver Thorbergsen, and he asks, what do you think about the World Cup game only being available on the previous gen? And in some way, I'm a little bit disappointed because, well, the last World Cup game was probably one of the most beautiful FIFA games in my opinion, And I would have loved to see what they could do with such a game on the new consoles, just to see how beautiful it might be able to look. And in that way, I'm quite disappointed, but I'll still pick it up on the previous gen. I think it will be a really, really fun game. The World Cup game, the last one, is still one of the games I like the best in the FIFA series in some way. So I'm really looking forward to this new one, because it's a bit of a FIFA that is a bit different to the normal FIFA series, and they always try out something different, and that is something I'm looking forward to try out. And I can understand in some way why they're only releasing it on what do you call it, on the previous gen, because it's not a game that I guess that is as big as the kind of the main FIFA franchise, and if they do not put as much, I guess, resources into making it, I can understand why they focus on one console to get it out, and then I can understand why they took the previous gen, because there's still the most people are playing on that. But still, I would have liked to see it on next gen, as I said. But I'll still pick it up nonetheless, because it is a game I think will be really, really awesome. And the final question we'll get to answer is, when did you start to play football in real life? And that was when I was between 5 and 6 years old, and I've been playing ever since. You really do enjoy that, and that is pretty much the end of the video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. It's a little bit shorter than normal, but still, I think there was some pretty cool goals in there, and that is pretty much all. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you later.